New York. Congresswoman, thanks for joining us. So you sat in on a Homeland Security briefing about the drones earlier this week. Did you get any real answers? And when do you expect another briefing?
Well, no, we didn't get answers. As a matter of fact, they said just what Mr. Kirby said, that a lot of these are being mistaken as drones. And that may be so. Some of these certainly are not drones, they are aircrafts. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of flying objects all over the tri-state area, and many of them are very obviously not planes. And so the question that we have, which I find it astounding, that the government can't give us any answers. Our military, with its capabilities, it cannot give us any answers as to what these are, because some may be from hobbyists, but certainly the ones that we're seeing are not. They could be commercial, but if they're commercial, our government should know about it. And they should also know that they're violating FAA airspace, which says you cannot fly between sundown and sunrise. And that's when most of these objects are coming out. They're coming out in the middle of the night when it's dark. And they're violating the rules in terms of how high they can fly in altitude. So it is concerning, particularly over an area like New York City, so densely populated, that we have so many of these drones / unmanned aerial systems above head. There could be an accident, there could be a crash, there could be a lithium battery issue. We're very concerned about the safety, and we expect the government to have answers for us on what this is. And I think it's potentially our own government that may be doing some surveillance or counterterrorism, but then be honest with the public and let people know, because right now we feel like a bunch of characters in War of the Worlds, and we deserve to know the truth.
Do you, for the theory you just posited, that it's our own government doing some anti-terrorism work, is that just a theory? Do you have any evidence for that? What's the reason for that suspicion?
You know, it's actually my hope that that's what it is. It's our own government and not a foreign nexus. And if it's commercial, then my question would be, why is the FAA not enforcing existing regulation? Because these are flying outside of the regulations. They are violating the FAA policy in terms of altitude and the time that they're operating. So then that leaves me to believe that it could only be our government unless it's a foreign nexus, which I think we would all hate to believe could be the case.
So Governor Hochul, New Jersey Democrat, says there's no evidence these drones pose a public safety or national security threat. It doesn't, I mean, if they are violating the rules, as you're saying, then how can she say that?
Exactly. When somebody tells me there is no known threat, I say, but there still could be a threat. And that is the problem. So it's not just that this could potentially be, foreign nexus or something like that, a foreign government that's operating these drones. It's like in a manner that the Chinese spy balloon had been crossing our country, going over sensitive areas. I'm also concerned about the public hazard of having these objects flying above us in violation of FAA protocol and in densely populated communities like mine. Where we have buildings, it's very residential, and an island like Staten Island, you have 500,000 residents. So it is very concerning. And I would say that they're also flying over sensitive infrastructure, the Verrazano Bridge, which happens to connect a U.S. Coast Guard base on one side on Staten Island with a U.S. Army installation on the Brooklyn side.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions here. And honestly, we just want the truth. We just want the government to tell us what they know. I find it very hard to believe that our government, with its intelligence and its military capabilities, does not know what's going on here. And if the truth is they don't, then we have a much bigger problem right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure which is worse. New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, Republican from New York, from the great island of Staten. Thank you so much.